Based on the historical data and forecast, Bitcoin shows volatility with a recent downward trend. The RSI fluctuates between oversold and overbought levels, indicating potential buying and selling opportunities. The Bollinger Bands have been widening, suggesting increased market volatility. Considering the support price of $110,600 and the forecast for the next week, I recommend a cautious long-term strategy. We will initiate a long position when the RSI drops below 40, indicating an oversold condition. Specifically, enter a long position at $110,800 with a stop-loss order at $109,800. The initial target price is $114,000, aiming to capitalize on a potential rebound. To refine the strategy, we'll incorporate the Bollinger Bands. If the price touches the lower band while the RSI is below 40, it strengthens the buy signal. If the price breaks above the upper band and the RSI is above 80, it signals a potential short-term profit-taking opportunity. For the long position initiated at $110,800, if the price reaches $114,000, we will move the stop-loss to the center of the Bollinger Bands, around $113,000. If the price continues to rise, we will set a second target price at $116,000. This approach combines RSI-based oversold entry with Bollinger Bands for risk management and profit optimization, aiming for high returns while mitigating downside risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, Ethereum has shown significant volatility. The RSI has fluctuated between 33.5 and 63.8, indicating periods of both oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands have widened considerably, suggesting increased price swings. Considering the recent price drop to $3,860 and subsequent recovery, the trend appears to be cautiously upward, albeit with potential for short-term corrections. We will implement a combined strategy leveraging RSI, Bollinger Bands, and support/resistance levels. Our strategy will focus on capitalizing on potential rebounds from the support level of $4,010. We will enter a long position at $4,220, anticipating a bounce from the forecast price. The stop-loss will be set at $4,010 to protect against a significant downturn. The initial target price will be $4,400, aligning with the forecast and a reasonable profit margin. If the price breaks through $4,400 and continues to rise, we will adjust the target price to $4,370, based on the forecast. This strategy combines the momentum from the RSI, the volatility indicated by the Bollinger Bands, and the stability of the support and resistance levels to maximize potential returns while managing risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, BNB shows a strong upward trend. The price has consistently tested and rebounded from the support level of $1,110, while also pushing towards the resistance level of $1,300. The RSI values fluctuate between 52.8 and 79.4, indicating periods of both oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands have been widening, suggesting increased volatility and potential for price movement. Considering these factors, I propose a long position strategy focusing on capitalizing on the bullish momentum. My strategy will incorporate all three indicators. First, when the RSI falls below 20, enter a long position at $1,310, with a stop-loss set at $1,210. The target price will be $1,420. Second, when the price touches the bottom of the Bollinger Bands, enter a long position at $1,320, with a stop-loss set at $1,210. The target price will be $1,420. Third, when the RSI reaches 80, enter a long position at $1,340, with a stop-loss set at $1,210. The target price will be $1,420. Combining these three strategies, the most efficient portfolio will be to enter a long position at $1,310, with a stop-loss set at $1,210 and a target price of $1,420. This strategy balances risk and reward, capitalizing on the projected upward trend while providing a safety net against potential downturns. Based on the historical data and forecast, XRP has shown a volatile trend with periods of both upward and downward movement. The The RSI consistently dipped below 30 in the past 2 weeks, indicating oversold conditions. Combining this with the forecast data, which projects a price range between $2.54 and $2.64, suggests a potential for a rebound. The Bollinger Bands also indicate volatility, with the price frequently touching the lower band, further reinforcing the oversold signal. Therefore, I recommend a long position entry at $2.54, placing a stop-loss order at $2.38 to protect against further downside risk. The target price for this trade is set at $2.61, aiming to capture a portion of the anticipated rebound. This target is based on the forecast high and the recent resistance levels. The RSI is expected to rise above 50, confirming the upward momentum. To maximize returns, consider a strategy that involves scaling out of the position as the price approaches the target. For example, sell half of the position at $2.57 and the remaining half at $2.61. This approach helps to lock in profits while allowing for the possibility of further gains if the price continues to rise. Based on the historical data and forecast, Solana has shown considerable volatility with a recent downtrend. The RSI indicates oversold conditions, particularly on October 13th and 14th, with readings below 36.3 and 45.6 respectively. The Bollinger Bands also suggest a potential rebound, with the price nearing the lower band. Therefore, I recommend a long position entry at $211. To mitigate risk, set a stop-loss at $177, which aligns with the established support level. For the target price, I anticipate a move towards the resistance level of $203, setting a profit target at $203. To refine this strategy, I'll incorporate the RSI and Bollinger Band signals. When the RSI falls below 20, enter a long position. When the RSI reaches 80, exit the long position. Additionally, if the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, consider entering a long position, and if it touches the upper Bollinger Band, consider exiting the long position. Combining these indicators, I suggest a refined entry at $211 with a stop-loss at $177 and a target price of $203. This combined strategy leverages both momentum and volatility signals for optimized returns. Based on the historical data and forecast, Dogecoin exhibits a downtrend with increased volatility. The RSI consistently dips below 50, reaching as low as 31.5 on October 13, 2025, indicating oversold conditions. The forecast prices for the next week continue this downward trajectory, suggesting further price declines. Considering the support price of $0.185 and the recent low of $0.185, a short selling strategy is recommended. We will enter a short position at $0.23, placing a stop-loss at $0.227 to limit potential losses if the price reverses. The target price will be $0.225, aiming to capitalize on the anticipated downward trend. To enhance the strategy, we'll incorporate the Bollinger Bands. The price consistently trades near the lower band, confirming the downtrend. If the price touches the bottom of the Bollinger Bands at $0.225, it's a strong signal to take profit. This combined RSI and Bollinger Bands approach provides a robust risk management framework. The portfolio will prioritize the short selling strategy with an entry price of $0.23, a stop-loss of $0.227, and a target price of $0.225, capitalizing on the predicted decline while mitigating risk through technical indicators. Based on the historical data and forecast, TRON demonstrates a downtrend, particularly evident in the recent price action and the forecast for the next week. The RSI consistently dips below 50, reaching as low as 32.2, indicating oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands are narrowing, suggesting decreasing volatility. Considering these factors, I recommend a contrarian long position strategy. We will enter a long position when the RSI falls below 30, and the price touches the support level of $0.314. The entry price will be $0.314. To manage risk, the stop-loss should be set just below the support level at $0.308. For the target price, we will aim for the nearest resistance level of $0.333, anticipating a potential bounce from the oversold condition. To refine this strategy, we will incorporate the Bollinger Bands. If the price touches the lower band while the RSI is below 30, it strengthens the signal for a long entry. The initial position will be 50% of the available capital, with a second 50% entry if the price reaches $0.317. The target price will be $0.333, and the stop loss will be $0.308. This approach allows us to capitalize on the anticipated rebound while mitigating potential losses if the downtrend continues. The predicted price movement based on the Bollinger Bands indicates a potential upward movement as the price approaches the lower band, aligning with the oversold RSI reading. This combined approach offers a high probability, high reward investment opportunity. Based on the historical data and forecast, Cardano has demonstrated significant volatility, with a recent downtrend followed by a slight recovery. The RSI consistently dipped below 30, indicating oversold conditions, especially around October 11th and 12th. The forecast suggests a continued downward pressure, with prices hovering around $0.764. Considering these factors, I recommend a contrarian strategy focusing on short-term gains. We will implement a buy strategy when the RSI reaches an oversold level below 20, and a sell strategy when the RSI reaches an overbought level above 80. Let's initiate a buy position on October 15, 2025, when the forecast price is $0.769. The RSI is expected to be below 20, confirming an oversold condition. Set a stop loss at $0.699, just below the recent low. The initial target price will be $0.737, aligning with the forecast for October 16, 2025. If the price reaches this target, we will reevaluate the situation. If the RSI continues to rise and approaches the 80 level, we will set a second target price at $0.768, near the forecast for October 18, 2025. This strategy aims to capitalize on short-term price bounces while mitigating risk with well-defined stop-loss levels. Based on the historical data and forecast, Wrapped Beacon ETH has shown significant volatility with a recent downtrend. The RSI indicates periods of oversold conditions, below 33.9, and overbought conditions, above 64.0, suggesting potential reversal points. The Bollinger Bands have been widening, indicating increased market uncertainty. Considering these factors, I propose a strategy combining RSI and Bollinger Band signals. Initially, we will enter a long position at $4,570 when the forecast price rises above the center of the Bollinger Bands, and the RSI is below 50. The stop loss will be set at $4,500, just below the support level of $4,330 to mitigate potential losses. The target price will be $4,780, aligning with the forecast price and the upper Bollinger Band. To optimize the portfolio, we will implement a dynamic position adjustment based on the RSI. If the price reaches the target of $4,780 and the RSI exceeds 80, we will take partial profits and set a trailing stop loss at $4,700. Conversely, if the price falls to the stop loss of $4,500 and the RSI falls below 20, we will exit the position. This approach combines the momentum of the Bollinger Bands with the reversal signals of the RSI, aiming to capture high returns while managing risk effectively. The strategy is designed to be flexible, adapting to changing market conditions and maximizing profit potential. Based on the historical data and forecast, Chainlink shows a downtrend with significant volatility. The price has been fluctuating between support at $17.2 and resistance at $20.9. The RSI indicates periods of oversold conditions, below 30, and overbought conditions, above 50, suggesting potential short-term reversals. The Bollinger Bands have been widening, indicating increased volatility and potential for price breakouts. Considering the forecast, the price is expected to continue declining, ranging from $20.7 to $19.9. Therefore, I recommend a short-selling strategy. My recommended strategy is to short Chainlink when the RSI reaches above 50, indicating an overbought condition. The entry price will be $20.4. The stop loss will be set at $20.9, just above the resistance level, to limit potential losses if the price unexpectedly rises. The target price will be $17.2, aligning with the established support level. This strategy combines RSI and Bollinger Band signals, aiming to capitalize on the anticipated downward trend while managing risk with a clearly defined stop-loss. The potential profit is $3.2 per share. Based on the historical data and forecast, Celestia has experienced significant volatility. The RSI consistently dipped below 30 in the past 2 weeks, indicating oversold conditions. The forecast suggests a slight upward trend, with prices hovering around $1.2 to $1.3. Given this, I recommend a long position strategy focusing on capitalizing on potential rebounds from the support level. The entry price for this trade should be $1.26, coinciding with the recent forecast and a bounce from the recent low. A stop loss should be placed at $1.2 to protect against further downside risk, and a target price of $1.3, aligning with the forecast high and previous resistance levels, should be set to secure profits. To refine this strategy, we'll incorporate the Bollinger Bands. The price is currently near the lower band, confirming the oversold condition. A move above the center band of $1.35 would signal a strong buy opportunity. Therefore, the final portfolio combines the RSI and Bollinger Band signals. We will enter a long position at $1.26, set a stop loss at $1.2, and target $1.3. If the price breaks above $1.35, we will move the stop loss to the center of the Bollinger Bands to secure profits and potentially extend the target price to $1.38, the previous resistance level. This blended strategy balances risk and reward, leveraging both momentum and volatility indicators for optimal returns. Based on the historical data and forecast, Bitcoin shows volatility with a recent downward trend. The RSI fluctuates between oversold and overbought levels, indicating potential buying and selling opportunities. The Bollinger Bands have been widening, suggesting increased market volatility. Considering the support price of $110,600 and the forecast for the next week, I recommend a cautious long-term strategy. We will initiate a long position when the RSI drops below 40, indicating an oversold condition. Specifically, enter a long position at $110,800 with a stop-loss order at $109,800. The initial target price is $114,000, aiming to capitalize on a potential rebound. To refine the strategy, we'll incorporate the Bollinger Bands. If the price touches the lower band while the RSI is below 40, it strengthens the buy signal. If the price breaks above the upper band and the RSI is above 80, it signals a potential short-term profit-taking opportunity. For the long position initiated at $110,800, if the price reaches $114,000, we will move the stop-loss to the center of the Bollinger Bands, around $113,000. If the price continues to rise, we will set a second target price at $116,000. This approach combines RSI-based oversold entry with Bollinger Bands for risk management and profit optimization, aiming for high returns while mitigating downside risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, TRON demonstrates a downtrend, particularly evident in the recent price action and the forecast for the next week. The RSI consistently dips below 50, reaching as low as 32.2, indicating oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands are narrowing, suggesting decreasing volatility. Considering these factors, I recommend a contrarian long position strategy. We will enter a long position when the RSI falls below 30, and the price touches the support level of $0.314. The entry price will be $0.314. To manage risk, the stop-loss should be set just below the support level at $0.308. For the target price, we will aim for the nearest resistance level of $0.333, anticipating a potential bounce from the oversold condition. To refine this strategy, we will incorporate the Bollinger Bands. If the price touches the lower band while the RSI is below 30, it strengthens the signal for a long entry. The initial position will be 50% of the available capital, with a second 50% entry if the price reaches $0.317. The target price will be $0.333, and the stop loss will be $0.308. This approach allows us to capitalize on the anticipated rebound while mitigating potential losses if the downtrend continues. The predicted price movement based on the Bollinger Bands indicates a potential upward movement as the price approaches the lower band, aligning with the oversold RSI reading. This combined approach offers a high probability, high reward investment opportunity. Based on the historical data and forecast, Trust Wallet shows a generally upward trend, with fluctuations within the support and resistance levels of $1.27 and $1.54. The RSI consistently fluctuates, dipping below 60 on October 10, 2025, indicating a potential oversold condition, and then rising above 60. The Bollinger Bands indicate periods of volatility, with the price frequently touching the upper band. Considering these factors, I propose a combined strategy incorporating RSI, Bollinger Bands, and support/resistance levels. The strategy will focus on buying opportunities when the RSI dips below 55 and the price approaches the support level of $1.27, while also considering the Bollinger Bands to confirm the volatility. The entry price will be $1.3, coinciding with a bounce from the support level and a relatively low RSI of 51.5. The stop loss will be set at $1.27, just below the support level, to limit potential losses. The initial target price will be $1.66, aligning with the forecast price and the upper end of the Bollinger Bands. If the price reaches $1.66, we will reassess the situation and potentially adjust the target price based on further analysis. This combined approach leverages multiple indicators to maximize potential returns while mitigating risk. Based on the historical data and forecast, Bitcoin Cash shows a downtrend with significant volatility. The RSI consistently dipped below 50, reaching as low as 31.3 on October 13, 2025, indicating oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands show the price fluctuating within a wide range, with the lower band frequently tested. Considering the forecast for the next week, with prices hovering around $556 and the support level at $500, I recommend a long position strategy when the RSI falls below 30. Specifically, enter a long position at $538, set a stop loss at $500, and target a price of $556. This strategy capitalizes on potential rebounds from the oversold condition and the support level, while limiting risk with a defined stop loss. To refine the strategy, we can incorporate Bollinger Bands. If the price touches the lower band while the RSI is below 30, it strengthens the buy signal. In this scenario, enter a long position at $538, place a stop loss at $500, and set a target price of $556. This combined approach leverages both momentum and volatility indicators. The RSI confirms the oversold condition, while the Bollinger Bands identify potential support levels. This portfolio offers a balanced approach to managing risk and maximizing potential returns in the current market conditions. Based on the historical data and forecast, Zcash exhibits a strong upward trend. The price has consistently broken through resistance levels, and the forecast for the next week indicates continued upward momentum. Considering the RSI values, which have been consistently above 70, suggesting overbought conditions, and the Bollinger Bands consistently widening, indicating high volatility and potential for further price movement, I recommend a strategy focused on capitalizing on short-term pullbacks within the overall uptrend. Specifically, I suggest waiting for a slight retracement to around $257, which aligns with the initial forecast price and a potential support level. We will place a stop-loss order at $249, just below the recent price floor, and set a target profit at $289, coinciding with a forecast price and a reasonable profit margin. To refine this strategy, we will incorporate a dynamic RSI-based filter. If the RSI falls below 30, indicating a significant oversold condition, we will consider entering a long position at $257, with a stop loss at $249 and a target price of $290. Conversely, if the RSI exceeds 80, suggesting an overbought condition, we will avoid entering a new position and wait for a potential pullback. This combined approach leverages the forecast data, Bollinger Bands, and RSI to maximize potential returns while minimizing risk, creating a robust investment portfolio for Zcash. Based on the historical data and forecast, NEXO shows a slightly downward trend. The RSI has been fluctuating, dipping below 40 on October 13th and 14th, indicating potential oversold conditions. The Bollinger Bands suggest that the price is currently near the middle band, with recent touches of the lower band. Considering these factors, I recommend a long position strategy focusing on the oversold RSI signal. The entry price should be $1.21, coinciding with the forecast price on October 19th and the recent touch of the lower Bollinger Band. A stop loss should be placed at $1.19, just below the established support level, to limit potential losses. The target price is set at $1.27, aligning with the center of the Bollinger Bands and a reasonable profit target given the recent price action. To refine this strategy, I will implement a portfolio that combines the RSI, Bollinger Bands, and support/resistance levels. If the RSI falls below 20, indicating a strong oversold condition, we enter a long position at $1.19, with a stop loss at $1.17 and a target price of $1.25. If the price touches the upper Bollinger Band, we consider a short position at $1.29, with a stop loss at $1.31 and a target price of $1.24. The primary long strategy outlined above will be the dominant position, accounting for 70% of the portfolio, while the short strategy will represent the remaining 30%. This blended approach aims to capitalize on both upward and downward movements while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, PAX Gold shows a strong uptrend. The RSI consistently remains above 75, frequently entering overbought territory above 80, indicating strong buying pressure. The Bollinger Bands have been widening, suggesting increased volatility and a continuation of the upward trend. Considering these factors, I propose a strategy focused on capitalizing on pullbacks within this uptrend. We will utilize an RSI-based approach, combined with Bollinger Bands for confirmation. The strategy involves waiting for the RSI to drop towards the 20 level, indicating an oversold condition, and then buying when the price touches the lower Bollinger Band. The entry price will be $4,180, coinciding with the forecast price and the lower Bollinger Band. A stop loss will be placed just below the lower Bollinger Band at $4,150 to protect against unexpected downside. The initial target price will be $4,290, aligning with the forecast price and a reasonable profit margin. If the price reaches $4,290, we will move the stop loss to the entry price of $4,180 to secure profits and potentially ride the trend further. The final target price will be $4,390, based on the upper forecast price. This strategy combines trend confirmation with oversold opportunities, maximizing potential returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Bittensor shows a strong upward trend. The recent price surge to $458, coupled with the forecast predicting prices above $400, suggests a bullish momentum. We will implement a combined strategy utilizing RSI, Bollinger Bands, and support/resistance levels. First, we will enter a long position at $413, anticipating further price appreciation. The stop loss will be set at $400 to mitigate potential losses. Our initial target price will be $433, aligning with the first forecast price. To maximize potential gains, we will employ a trailing stop-loss strategy. Once the price reaches $433, we will adjust the stop-loss to $423, based on the lower Bollinger Band. If the price continues to rise, we will further increase the stop-loss, maintaining a buffer against the lower band. Our final target price will be $528, based on the last forecast price, capitalizing on the predicted upward trajectory. This combined strategy leverages technical indicators and forecast data to identify high-potential entry and exit points, aiming for substantial returns while managing risk effectively. Based on the historical data and forecast, Maple Finance shows a potential for a bullish trend. The RSI values fluctuate between 32.7 and 58.8, indicating periods of oversold and overbought conditions. The Bollinger Bands also suggest volatility, with prices frequently touching the upper and lower bands. Considering the forecast prices are consistently increasing from 0.418 to 0.472, and the support price is relatively stable at 0.443, a long position is warranted. I recommend entering a long position at $0.418. Place a stop-loss order at $0.372, below the recent low and the lower Bollinger Band. Set a target price at $0.472, aligning with the forecast price and the resistance level. To refine this strategy, we will incorporate RSI and Bollinger Band signals. When the RSI falls below 30, oversold, consider entering a long position. When the RSI exceeds 70, overbought, consider exiting the long position. Furthermore, if the price touches the lower Bollinger Band, it could be a buying opportunity, while touching the upper Bollinger Band could signal a selling opportunity. Combining these indicators, the most efficient portfolio would be to enter a long position at $0.418, set a stop-loss at $0.372, and target $0.472. This approach balances the bullish forecast with risk management techniques, aiming for high returns while mitigating potential losses.